Hello and welcome to Python tutorial. So this is our Python course, and in the first video I will explain that what is Python. So let's start with the topic. See, Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, high-level programming language. If you are confused with these terms, let me explain one by one. So, interpreted means that it is an interpreter-based program which actually translates your Python code into machine code. And by machine code, I mean into binary language, that is 0 and 1, which means that whatever you are writing in Python is actually getting translated into the binary form, because see, the computer actually understands only binary. Nothing apart from binary can the computer recognize. Okay. Next term is object oriented. So object oriented is a programming paradigm or a programming approach where classes and objects are implemented. Now you might be thinking, what is class or what is object? If you are confused, let me give you a very simple example. Like classes are said to be blueprints and objects are instance of the class. So by blueprint, what I mean, like you can think of a class as a foundation of something. Okay. So for example, if you think birds to be a class, then we can say a parrot, a sparrow, or a pigeon is the object for that class. Okay. After that, what is high-level programming language? High-level simply means that these are human understandable programming language, where the syntax is very much similar to human language. Hence, it is very easier to code using these languages. Like you are using simple English words, common English words to write a Python code. It's not very complicated. It's very simple to write codes in Python. Okay, because the instructions we are giving are done using the English words, which are easily understandable by us. Hence, it is referred to as a high-level language. Okay. After that, here's a description or one definition of Python, you can say, which I have just taken a snapshot from Wikipedia. So Wikipedia describes Python to be a dynamically typed and garbage collected language. Now you might be thinking, what is dynamically typed? So what happens in Python is actually, like if you compare Python with other languages, then let's say you have a data. You just need to store a number. Let's say you have a value which is 25 and you need to store this value. So when you being a human, when you look at this thing, what I have written here, you can easily say that, okay, this is a number. And more precisely, if I give you two kinds of number, let's say 25 and 25.6, so you can easily say, okay, this is one integer number, that is a whole number, and this one has got a fractional part. So this is kind of a fractional number, or which we call as float numbers in programming languages, right? Or simply in mathematics, we call them as decimal numbers, right? So you being a human being, just looking at the number, you can understand what kind of value it is. Or if I give you a name, let's say if I just write my name over here, so you can easily say that, okay, this is a number that we can use to find some values or make calculations, and this is a text. So that's what Python can do. Thus, Python is said to be a dynamically typed, where we don't need to specify the data type to its interpreter, but when the program runs, it can itself determine its data type. Here, next is garbage collected. So by garbage collected, I mean that Python has got an algorithm to deallocate objects which are no longer needed. So it frees up the memory. Okay. After that, it says that it supports multiple programming paradigms. So again, we come across the term programming paradigms. So programming paradigms simply means that there are different ways or different styles or approaches in which a programming language can be organized. Among them, we can say that Python is structured, and structured means that it comes up with reusable, it comes up with reusable program components. So you can create a component and it can be reused several times. Then object oriented, which we have already discussed, and next one is functional programming. So what is functional programming? It means that Python uses pure functions. Okay. So pure functions, and what is a function? If you are wondering, let me say it in a very short way, that functions are again reusable blocks of code or lines of code. Let's say you want to, I'll give you a very real life example. So if you want to just your daily routine, okay, so let's say you want to categorize your daily routine into morning course, afternoon course, and evening course. So imagine every day you need to do the same thing. Like let's say every morning we have the same thing to be done, or let's say Monday to Friday you have the same thing to be done. Afternoon same activities, evening same activities. So every day we are repeating the same task, isn't it? So that's what we don't want our programs to do. If a program has to repeat same task every day, or let's say you are a robot, okay, then we can simply put up a function, or we can create a function called morning, afternoon, and evening, and then it can be executed every day. So you don't need to execute, or you don't need to perform the same task repeatedly. So that's what is a functional programming. Here, next it says that it is often described as batteries included. So batteries included is a term which is often used to describe Python because it comes up with everything you need for programming. Next, it says that it has a comprehensive standard library. Python has got a very rich library which you will learn the more you learn Python or more you study Python. There are several libraries which can be used for several kinds of programming. Okay, so and the next thing that it says is Python consistently ranks as one of the most popular programming languages. So among all the programming languages that we can learn or we can work on, Python is one of them. Okay, now let's meet this person. It says like, hello, I am Guido van Rossum. So who is this person? He is the person behind Python language. He is a Dutch programmer and the creator of Python programming language. So he actually developed this language. Next, Python was released in the early 1990s. So it's now been quite a time that Python is developed, but right now it is much more popular than it was in the 90s. Okay. Now let's focus on the points what Python can do. So see, Python can be used to create web applications. It can be used to connect to database systems. Database systems, for example, like MySQL. Okay. It can be used to handle big data. Big data in the sense it is used for data science. And it can perform complex mathematical problems. Okay. It can also be used for rapid prototyping or for production ready software development. So this is a language which can be used for web applications as well as for software development, for data science, for connecting to SQL or database systems. So there's a lot of things we can do using Python. Okay, so that's it, like the introduction of Python. And in the next video, we will be learning more about the language.